Now to the results of our brand new NewsNation Decision Desk HQ poll. The survey of more than 3,000 registered voters, gathering people's views on not only the presidential race, but also on foreign policy, the southern border, and the economy. NewsNation's Joe Khalil live for us in Washington. So, Joe, tell us, what are people saying?
Well, Nichole, when we do these NewsNation Decision Desk polls, we look beyond the numbers and just what the story is that this polling data tells us. And I think what it tells us is you've got a lot of voters out there who are still very much concerned about the economy and inflation. Despite economists saying inflation's getting better, voters are still hurting. And it seems like their candidate preferences are reflecting that anxiety. That's the story, anyway, that these numbers tell me. So let's go ahead and dive in right here. We asked voters whether they were strongly or somewhat concerned about inflation still, and look at that response. 91% of voters saying that they are either somewhat or very concerned about inflation, and that cut across Republicans, Democrats, and independents. Now, focusing on Republican voters, we asked them which candidate they thought would be best to handle the economy, and take a look at what Republican voters told us. About 64% said they thought former President Trump would be best to handle the economy. Ron DeSantis second, around 8%. Nikki Haley right behind him at 7.5%. Now, let's jump to this question here. Who is your preferred candidate? And not surprisingly, the numbers track very closely to who voters said would handle the economy best. Remember those numbers before: 64, 8, and 7.5. Now you've got Donald Trump at 60, Governor DeSantis at 11, Ambassador Nikki Haley around 10%. So tracking very closely there, the economy and who Republican voters would prefer. Now, what I thought was interesting, Nichole, just another note, is we asked voters whether if Trump were convicted of any of the felonies he's accused of, would that impact them at all? 34% of independent voters told us that it may actually impact their views, not an insignificant number of independents. And we also asked whether states wanted to ban former President Trump from their ballots if he were convicted. Would you strongly or somewhat support that? 60% of independents said they would somewhat or strongly support that. Surprisingly to me, 28% of Republicans responded that they would also support states banning the former president if he were convicted of a felony there. I just thought that was an interesting thing in terms of responses we got. But generally, the economy very much a concern. I imagine, Nichole, that's what voters will be watching coming up to our crucial News Nation debate on Wednesday, is how these candidates respond to questions about the economy, inflation, and how they, if in office, would handle it.
Yeah, people certainly concerned about the economy. Joe Khalil live for us in Washington. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.